What's going on? What's up, G? What's up, Top G? How you been, my guy? Oh, I forgot my coffee. Key component to this, you know? Just make it act as if there's no cameras type shit.
Very true.
You know? People get wrapped up in the fucking camera, bro. Meanwhile, they just fucking...
Yeah, I mean, I could see why it would play a factor, you know?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely important to think about.
Actually, there's that one experiment that they did in, like, freaking... I think it might have been Switzerland. It was the experiment at the Large Hadron Collider, where they were basically...
What?
Yeah, hold on. It all ties together, I promise. Basically, they accelerated an atom or an electron really, really fast, and they sent it into like this thing that would read where the atom was positioned after it had already been like accelerated very fast, right?
Yeah.
And what they found is that if they were not observing it, the atom actually existed. Like it triggered that it existed in both slots, right? So if it's like slot A and slot B, and you're trying to figure out where the atom is, right? If you're not observing it, the reader would show that it was in both.
And they were just studying one?
So what they did is the second that they actually observed it, that atom was always in the position that they would expect it to be. So if they thought, oh, it's going to be in position B, when they would go to read the results, it'd be in position B. But the same thing, if they thought it was in position A, then that's where it would be, position A, right?
Yeah.
And so what that really says is, things change when you actually observe it. And so it would only make sense that, throwing on some cameras and
Things do change when you observe them. That's pretty crazy. That's that kind of makes me think the whole visualization thing, and kind of just something that I was talking about in my last video that I did. But damn, bro, that's just consciousness, dude. Like that's definitely one of the main things that I wanted to kind of talk about. Just as like an introductory for people who are new, and just how we got to where we are. And I think consciousness and that awareness, like being able to look at shit and see it for as it is, and navigate that has got me to where I am today, and we're sitting here in a beautiful apartment in Newport Beach. So I'm gonna pull out my notes real quick, actually.
Very true, bro. You know what they say, that there's always two versions to it. There's the way that it is and the way that you see it.
Yeah.
Like the world, There's the way that it actually is, and then there's the way that you see it. Kind of like your own will that you impose in on it.
Yeah.
And that the way that the world actually is kind of goes back to that original point, where until you observe them, they're in both positions, and then how it plays in together with the other side of it is the way that you see it, the way that you expect things to show up, and so that's kind of what we see with our life. That's why the saying is so simple but so true. Whether you think that you can or you think that you can't, you're right.
Yeah, that's facts. I've definitely seen that a lot with my running lately, bro.
Yeah.
Pretty, yeah.
Yeah, dude.
How long were you trying to rip it for? If you had a goal? Just do it naturally?
To kind of, well, right now, I think also is kind of testing.
Goes right back to for the people who are listening and not watching, you should be watching first of all, but right now we're dealing with Luffy. This guy right now, he's not trying to be on camera apparently.
Yeah, you see, fucking.
Come on, buddy.
It's alright, bro. It's alright, Bob. Just chill.
dog, it's everything.
Yeah, it kind of goes with the whole, you know, how you see things, you know. And I think eating dirt, you know, that analogy, just tying into that actually, it has its value, you know.
Yeah.
Because in life you're gonna have to experience.
You got that dog in you.
If you got that dog in you, for sure, you should have that dog in you, no doubt. I don't know why you wouldn't, but I don't know. Most people I feel like try to avoid eating dirt.
You know, as we're kind of like training for this marathon and whatnot, a lot of people will come up to me. Well, not a lot. A couple of people will come up to me. And you know, when they ask, I'm always like, you can do a marathon.
Yeah.
You know, everybody can do a marathon, right? The only reason why you train is to get a lower time in the marathon, right? But
That's a good point.
the idea is that anybody can go out there.
You think that's why they make it 26.2?
Yeah, at least one more than 1 mile. I mean, 1 hour. But you know, that's really what it is. You know, anybody can go out within a 24-hour period and knock out 26.2 miles. You know, it could take you 2 hours if you're Elliot Kipchoge, or it could take you, you know, 10 hours if you're walking at a moderate pace. You just want to, you know, do a little bit of running, a little bit of walking. But even you know, having said that, I think even though a lot of people can, and they know that they can, they put themselves in the way because they know that their identity would have to change if they prove to themselves that they can do things that they, you know, knew that they could or could do. You know?
Yeah, and that goes for anything in life. You're gonna have to change. I think the saying goes, things don't change if things don't change, right?
Yeah.
So you gotta change. And that definitely ties into kind of like, I don't know, where I could kind of see us taking this, and just, you know, the general, I guess, theme, you know, of just talking about what's going on in the world and where we are and navigating that process, because we're both, you know, young men in a world that, in my opinion, is honestly under attack, you know. Young men and our abilities are definitely under attack. They don't want us to be what we're capable of being.
Yeah.
And that's been like my main mission recently, has been to really uncover, like, you know, what am I actually capable of? And that's definitely what running has been for me, you know. Today I did 7 earlier this morning, bro. I met these 2 guys along the way, and they were just like, we ran every day for 25 years. And in my mind, bro, I was like, damn, that really just flipped the switch in my mind, dude. I was like, it really is possible to sustain, you know, these habits and these, you know, these things in your daily life. It's definitely, you know, you have to, if you're gonna look for that change, because change definitely doesn't happen overnight.
I mean, it makes sense, you know. It's kind of like you don't wake up in the morning and think, "Oh, I gotta breathe today."
True.
You know, you kind of just do it. Like, I'm guessing for those people, they've been running for 25 years, every single day.
The one dude who was 70, I was like,
Yeah, dude.
I met the dude. There was a dude over here by the pool, and he was like, yeah, I've been swimming for 50 years. I was like, what? 50? You've been swimming for like, just like swimming, just like as like a physical activity. And that's another main topic that, you know, we definitely, I feel like, are going to be talking about a lot, is, you know, our physical health and what we're doing to, you know, prolong our lives and to live our healthiest lives. I mean, definitely, you know, why don't you just give like people, I'll do the same, like give people like a 60-second, like, you know, who you are, like where you're at in life, and where you come from, and kind of like where you see yourself going.
Yeah, sure. Let's see. My name's Eduardo. Last name Perez Torres, because Latinos gotta have that long name.
Yeah, dude. Eduardo Perez Torres in the house. Let's go, baby.
It gets even longer, bro. There's a Jesus
Oh
in
shit.
between the Eduardo
What the
and
heck?
the Perez. Yeah, so full name Eduardo Jesus Perez Torres.
Damn.
I
That's a powerful name.
There you go, bro.
You're a powerful man, for sure.
I was born in Atlisco, Puebla, which is kind of a small town compared to the Puebla City. And I moved to the U.S. when I was 3. Interestingly enough, I don't even know if I should probably say this or actually say it.
I mean, you could say it and we could just cut it out.
Nah. Let's just say that I found my way.
Oh, especially if the phone's recording. It's a little sus.
I found my way into the U.S. thanks to the help of some very, very kind people.
No doubt.
Very kind strangers. And yeah, I grew up in New York. I always felt like there was more to life than just staying in one place. I always had a dream to come out to California, and one day, me and my friend, we were sitting in the car, we made that decision. Next week, we were driving across the country in my little Honda Civic. We had packed everything that we owned. My little Honda Civic took a week to drive across from New York to California. And then being in California, things kind of just started happening one way or the other. And eventually found myself in door-to-door sales, selling solar here in SoCal, and it's been going great. Now I get this guy.
For sure, dude. That's definitely been a really great addition to my life. For people who don't know, I definitely have a very similar, we met in New York, we met in Harlem, and we were doing our thing down there in New York City, and very similar thing for me. I definitely saw that there was more to life, and California was one of those places that was really special for me, and I kind of always wanted to move to. And when I saw you move out here, and we were messaging back and forth, that definitely you literally told me, you were like, just make that leap of faith. Yeah. And I'll never forget those first couple weeks. I was crashing on your couch in Koreatown, and yeah, dude, you've definitely helped me in my journey a lot. I just want to say thank you, and it's been an honor to be your roommate and to get to know you over these years, and I'm glad that we're doing shit like this, because we literally talked about this, probably one of the first things we talked about. We were like, yo, we got to start a podcast, and we're out here doing it for the first time. So shout out to you, and things are definitely just getting going for sure.
And it's so funny to think about that, because so much had to happen between that initial conversation and right now.
Dude,
or
so
even to get to a place like where we are now.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful to think about.
First of all, we had to go and gather the stories. I think
the what?
Gather the stories.
Oh, dude, the stories are everything, bro.
Interesting people are only interesting people because they've done interesting things.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more.
So, if you were to have talked to me back when I was living in New York, it was just like the very beginning of everything. Here we are,
Absolutely.
4 years later since those times, about to be 5 years, and now it actually has manifested itself into where maybe we don't have the entire picture laid out, but we have bits and pieces of it where we can, start to kind of share a message, knowing generally the direction that we're looking to take it. I think one of the things that I've taken from some of the mentors that I've had in life is that action is better than no action. take these moments, you learn from them, you find what works, what doesn't work, and you just continue to innovate on previous experiences. Yeah. It's like anything else. It's kind of like training this dog, bro.
Action is better than no action.
Yeah, I didn't really know how to train a German Shepherd, but started little by little.
Yeah.
Some things worked, some things didn't. You taught trial and error, repetition, and some consistency with it. He's not the most trained dog, he's still definitely got a lot.
I'd say he's pretty well trained, dude. For what, 7 months old?
7 months.
I mean, guys, look at him. Homie's literally sitting there for the camera, just all perfect and symmetrical and shit.
He's like a little donut.
Yeah, he's a
C-shaped donut.
really legendary dog. Shout out to you, Luffy.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, that's some really powerful shit for sure. I love that. What do you think, Luffy?
Maybe we can learn a thing or two from this guy. I know I have. It's like that the thing that I was telling you the other day, where it's like Luffy is a very athletic dog, right?
Yeah.
For sure. There's no denying it. He's got that literal dog in him. But that's not necessarily because of like his physical attributes or his build. It's not so much about that, because if he was smaller or heavier or whatever, I feel like he'd still have this kind of mindset. Where if he sees a squirrel, it doesn't matter how freaking athletic he is, If he sees a squirrel 75 feet up in the air in a tree, homie absolutely without a shred of a doubt thinks that he can somehow go up that tree fast enough to catch the squirrel, and then safely come down. It's
pretty astonishing, and honestly, we need to embody that as people more often, and I feel like that's something we definitely have the trait of, for sure, and have been able to adopt, is that ability to take action quick. And I've heard it said before that that's like what true intelligence actually is. Your ability to like take what you've learned and act on it.
Yeah.
How quickly can you, like, the act of transforming,
Yeah.
and how quickly you can change and learn from your previous experience. So, like, what do you feel like that's been for you? Especially, you're someone that's been, in sales for now 3 or 4 years, especially door-to-door sales. Like, that's something that is probably one of the harder things out there to do. And it makes sense that those people that are in sales are the top earners. Because, like, it's not easy to do something like that. So what has led you to, A, even want to, like, be in that position, and then B, like, begin to excel and thrive in such a, difficult task, and more kind of like the mindset behind it, like the mindset behind, having that ability to take that action and change and be versatile.
Yeah, I think the number one thing that comes to mind when it comes to that is that being in this position, it's the closest thing, I think, that you could get to in modern day that would be the equivalence of, the caveman going back out in the day hunting for their food.
What would be equivalent?
Door to door.
Okay,
sales.
Yeah, okay, door to door. My bad.
Yeah.
Just got a title.
Yeah, no worries. I think that is the modern day version of going out and hunting for your food. It's not like you got to kill anyone, or that's not what I'm trying to say here. It's more so going out there and putting bread on the table because you put bread on the table. Not through like a salary means. It's like,
I feel like that's a really great analogy.
You perfect your craft to a point, and I'm not perfect at this. I know that. You know, there's still. I'm a lifelong student. I know that there's still a lot to learn. But you work on perfecting your craft, and little by little, you start to see that translate into better and better results. But on the flip side, here's the thing, right? You're talking about speed to implementation, and on the one hand, you know, it's kind of like a double-edged sword. On the one hand, if you apply it soon, you start to see these results.
Yeah.
Right? In that same breath, you start to see these results. One of the traps that, you know, I feel like I even fell into is that you start to see these results, and then you think that you figured it out.
I see.
You know? And so the next time that you hear something, you know, that speed to implementation isn't as fast. You don't.
There's still change. There's still change to be adapted to.
Exactly.
And I think that kind of goes to the fact that things are forever changing.
Yeah.
You know.
And so, yeah, to kind of follow up on that, you know, on the one hand, if you implement it super fast, you get those results, but it's about staying in that learner mindset and still, you know, being coachable even after you see a little bit of a success, because at the end of the day, you know, we all understand that there's levels to it. Like, I remember back when I was 19, if you would have told me that I'd be making $25,000 in a month, or even just 1 month, you know, I'd be like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? You know? And now if you talk to me and you say, oh, $25,000 in a month, I'm like, damn, that's it? You know, it's a lot of money for a lot of people. But there's levels to it.
Yeah.
25,000 isn't anything to the guy who's making 100K, 200K. Dude, the guy who's leading the organization right now, he just dropped 54 deals yesterday.
In one day.
In one day, because he got a connect that owned a lot of properties, right?
Off of one connection.
Off of one connection.
One connection. So a reminder that you're one connection away from a new future.
Yeah.
Literally a new future.
54, bro. Even at the base.
That's incredible.
Even at the base, let's say that it's a measly $1,000 per account, right? Which is not.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah.
It's still $54,000 in one day.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
The power of a network.
Yeah. But that's you know, kind of what I was playing at, is that you can't ever get to a point where you think that you know it all, or you figured it out. You have to continue to try to implement these things, and I think that's
There's always something new to learn. There's always. I think there's always going to be something. Otherwise, you know, you get to that point, and then what?
Yeah.
You know.
I think that's the main reason why I've stayed in door to door, bro. It's because that challenge just continues to refine you and sharpen yourself as a person.
I could see that, and one of the ways that I feel like I relate to that has been just moving to California in general, right? Yeah. A big goal of mine for a long time was to move to California, and then once I moved here, I had that kind of like what now, you know, like that loss of purpose per se,
Yeah.
and that's really cool that door to door provides that for you on a daily basis.
Daily basis, bro. It's always you and the guy in the mirror.
And that's not just door to door, dude.
That's anything
that's literally with everything in life. Yeah. You know, going from you know, literally waking up and you know, and when you go out into the world, you know, with what you're doing, you know, that you're going to be presented with new challenges and new opportunities every single day. I think the two of them go hand in hand, you know, because what's an opportunity without some challenge, right? Well, how did it even get there in the first place?
Yeah, people don't value free, bro.
People don't value free? Yeah, dude. I remember one of the only things I remember from school, from high school. Neither of us completed college, or I think you definitely should share your story. should share your story on that. But I went to a year of college, and you know that just wasn't for me. And I really liked what you said. Just kind of just like we're life learners, you know. We're gonna it's a forever ongoing thing. And for anyone who believes that, you know, you're going to go to school for 4 years and then go get a job, that just wasn't for me. So, you know, I feel like that was something we obviously resonated with from day one. And definitely big believer in life learner, you know.
Oh yeah, so brother. The story that he's referring to, by the way, is directly after high school. I got enrolled in the community college in my hometown, and I was like, oh, let's see about this, right? And so I signed up for one English class. I think I might have shown up maybe once or twice before I realized, like, it was a night class at that. It was like at 7 p.m. on a random Tuesday, you know, on Thursday. It was like one English class. And I think the second time that I was there, I was looking at the professor, I was looking around at the people in the class, and I was like, what the hell am I doing here? And
Yeah,
I never showed back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That moment probably changed your life forever.
I would say so.
It was one of those awareness moments.
But
I think
here's the thing about that too, right? Is that this actually just clicked to me. Is that it goes to show what happens when you do anything half-assed. You know, I had only signed up for one class. Like, obviously, I'm gonna end up dropping out. You know, because I didn't actually
You
make
weren't
that
fully
commitment
committed.
that I was there. You know, and it turned out the way that it did. I'm glad that it did. You know, because if I wasn't committed, then I knew that I was going to be wasting my time. You know, but it does speak on that fact. You know, if you are committed to something, don't just show up to one class. Don't just show up to two classes. You know, register for the whole curriculum. That is how you show your commitment.
Fully see it through. Fully see it through.
Exactly. You got to finish those 4 years, no matter what, or whatever it may be. You know.
Yeah, which is why I'm really glad that we sat down and actually made this happen today. We literally talked about this last night, and you know, we've had the equipment to be able to do this, and you know, I'm glad that, you know, we finally, you know, just made that commitment and stuck to it, and we did it, man. So I'm excited to do it more often, and hopefully we can, you know, make this a very frequent thing, because you know, this is more than a vibe, and I'm sure that, you know, the people will get a lot of value, you know, out of what we have to say and our experiences. So
Maybe. At the same time, I also am humble enough to understand that, you know, there's probably a ton of people out there that don't give a flying doodle about what we have to say, and that's totally fine. I think that this message will find its way to the people who need to hear it in one way or another, you know. Because I know that when I was going through the journey, there was a bunch of these seeds that were planted by other people that, you know, really helped out. And so if I could just do the same thing for somebody else, I think this whole thing would be a win. Even if it's just for one person.
No doubt.